Welcome back to the Broadway show. I'm Tamsin Fidel. Let's get back to it.
The Marquee says Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster, but the hit revival of The Music Man features a laundry list of great Broadway talent.
Let's check back in with Paul Wontorek.
He's won awards and acclaim for playing some serious dark souls, but right now he's spreading joy on Broadway. We're going to walk through the resume of Shuler Hensley with Mr. Shuler Hensley.
Shapoopy.
Is that just the word in your head all the time now? Shapoopy.
It means so many different things.
It does. It does. We are at the Gershwin Theater. This is the home of Wicked. It's hard to imagine a world where this wasn't the home of Wicked, but it actually wasn't. It was the home of Oklahoma! Exclamation point. Wicked doesn't have an exclamation point, but Oklahoma did.
Yes, it did. And it actually, when we were doing Oklahoma here, Wicked came in and we were like, oh, that show will never last. Wicked. No, this was where it all started for me.
So you did the show in London. I got to see it in London before it came here. You did it with Mr. Hugh Jackman, a friend of yours who you are currently. We'll get to that. We'll get to him. Enough about him. You played Judd.
Yes.
You did it in London. You won an Olivier Award. You were an American and doing it in London. Won an Olivier Award. Came here. Hugh didn't do it. Patrick Wilson did.
Right.
You won a Tony Award. This became like your award thing.
Yes.
And you were a new guy on the scene.
My debut was Les Mis, but this was the first original production. You couldn't have asked for a warmer welcome to Broadway than this show. And I think it was just being in the right place at the right time, the right role for me, the right everything.
Judd is a scary dude. He lives in the, does he live in the barn?
The smokehouse.
He's a dark dude.
Right.
Was that ever a challenge?
My voice type being lower and darker, and I'm a big guy, the habit would be to cast me as the villain or the heavy, but I'm adorable in real person. It was a nice change because I didn't have to play the villain because I was the size and the sound of a villain, so I got to look at the other side of it and make Judd Fry a more sympathetic character, if that makes sense. You know, not focusing on the dark side, but really what makes a person dark. And that's usually pain and something that we can relate to more.
You've been able to explore that a lot in different shows.
That's right.
So let's start walking. Let's go to the next one.
Yes!
Let's do it.
I got my walking shoes. Here we go.
This is the Court Theater. Under construction.
Yes.
They are currently beautifying it.
Thank you for making that possible.
You appeared here in not one but two plays in Rep,
Yes.
which is a fancy thing to say.
I know,
on Broadway.
right?
I'm going to drop some names for you.
Okay.
So we got what? We got Beckett,
Yes.
Pinter.
Yes.
Then you got McKellen
I don't
and
know.
Stewart.
Okay.
Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart.
Oh, wait, I know them.
You know them. You know them. They were the headliners in Waiting for Godot. It's not Godot. Waiting for Godot.
Yes.
And then
No Man's Land.
No Man's Land.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the Pinter play.
Yeah.
That's a fancy gig.
And there were only four of us, and there was Billy Crudup.
Yeah,
too.
he's pretty good too.
He will make something of himself as well. Mark my words. It was two plays in Rep, so as an actor, you would never do the same play twice in a row. And on two show days, we'd do both plays. Then you add Ian McKellen and Patrick and Billy, you know, these legends of theater.
Yeah.
But what was great for me about it was, as nervous as I was, Ian was secretly saying, we do the same thing with every time we do a new show. It's like, how am I going to be? So it never goes away. So it was a nice connection.
Yeah. So this is the Richard Rodgers Theater. Many theater goers stream into this theater every night.
Yes, they do.
To see Hamilton, which you were not in.
I was not.
But you were in another one-named musical named after a very famous man, Tarzan.
Tarzan, and I was Kerchak, Silverback.
So how method are you? Because I know like when they do Cats, they have entire rehearsals where all the performers pretend they're cats.
Yes. Everyone was sort of required to go through training on these bungee cords.
There was a lot of flying and
a lot
bouncing.
of flying up and into these holes, which are like 20 feet up. And the bungee cord down was okay, but the coming back up was fast and furious.
Terrifying.
So then I did research on silverback gorillas and found out that they actually don't live in trees. So I mentioned that to them and they're like, okay, fine. So I didn't have to bungee cord, which was...
You got out of the most terrifying part of your job by doing research
I did,
on the animal. I love that. So we are at the Jacobs Theater.
Yes.
You did another play here because
Yes,
you're
I
a
did.
very versatile
Very
performer.
versatile.
The Ferryman, which
The
was a big
Ferryman.
acclaimed play by Judge Butterworth, and you were part of the second group of actors.
Yes, Butterworth, the way he writes, they said it took him 7 years to write this
Wow.
play. He just keeps going over and over and over it till it just sounds like conversation. It was such a joy to work with, and the kids in this, you know,
Right.
child actors in these plays.
And
were-
baby, there's a baby.
They would cast based on whether or not the baby could flip over on stage and crawl, because if they could flip over and crawl, that means they could crawl off the stage. So as long as the babies did not flip, they were still in the show. But one flip and you're out.
So it's similar to your Tarzan audition.
Yes, similar to my career.
We are at the Imperial Theater.
Yes.
Do you remember
we
this
are.
one?
I do. Yes.
It's a big theater.
It is.
And you did a big show. You did Les Mis, Les Miserables.
Les Miserables.
Yeah.
It was my Broadway debut.
Yes,
I
'cause-
played Javert, and it was a defining. It was not only my Broadway debut, but it was also when 9/11 happened.
Right.
After 9/11, and we closed for a couple of days,
Yep.
which was the last time Broadway closed before COVID.
Right.
You're going, oh, do we really make a difference? And the day back, we probably had about 300 or 400 people in the audience. But every single person in the audience came to the stage door afterwards, and all they did was they said, "Thank you for giving us a place to go." And I was like, "Bing, bing." That's what's important about live theater is
Yeah.
to give people a chance to escape.
Okay, Shuler.
Yes.
This is the
Ah!
lyric. We're gonna get to
Oh,
that.
sorry.
This is the Lyric Theater. You were in Young Frankenstein
Ah,
as the monster.
Waterbed.
Yeah, it was a big Susan Stroman, Mel Brooks musical follow-up to the producers. Mel Brooks' humor is very go for broke.
Yes.
You know, he even says himself in his movie, it's not even about every joke landing. It's just about sort of like delivering jokes and it's seeing which percentage of them like the audience loves. What was it like doing a show like that?
Well, what's interesting, I loved Mel's take on comedy because it harkens back to when he was a writer in the writer's room of Show of Shows,
Yeah.
Sid Caesar's Show of
Yeah.
Shows. And they would literally have 70 shows a year. So the writer's room would be like, hey, does this work? And it would be like they throw a joke on the
Yeah.
wall, and if it sticks, they use it. If not, they move on. Mel was doing that with this show,
love
and
that.
Susan Stroman was like, Mel, we're open. You can't do. He's like, but maybe you should try this. Just try this one time. Listen, and it was so invigorating to know
Wow.
that regardless of how much he's done, he's still that kid at heart and still wants to just constantly
Yeah.
work something. It was amazing.
Shuler, we have arrived at
We
your
have
current
arrived.
home.
Full circle.
Not a bad place to call home.
Exactly. The Oklahoma was the first time I worked with you, and this is the next time, 20-something years later, and I couldn't be prouder to be a part of this kind of show, bringing Broadway back. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Not only did you do Oklahoma with Hugh Jackman, but you
Yeah.
also did this sort of cult, cool horror movie, Van Helsing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was,
You were the monster.
I
You
was
were
Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, that's a
and
role you know well. As
Yeah,
we just
right.
learned.
That was 7 hours of makeup.
Wow.
It was 20-something prosthetic pieces. I was on platform, so I was about 7'3",
Yeah.
shack size. So it was amazing.
But you like this Hugh Jackman character.
I do like Hugh, and you know, with hard work, he's a very talented guy, but with hard work and determination, Hugh Jackman is going to be a name you're going to hear a lot about. Just you wait.
What is it like when you look back at everything you've been able to do? And I mean, you must feel pretty accomplished.
I do feel accomplished, but it goes back to something that Ian McKellen said,
Yeah.
and he was talking about no matter how much you've done, the new shows always feel like the first day of school again. You're
Yeah.
nervous, you're self-questioning things, and I just love that feeling that you're reborn every show.
Yeah.